Hey guys, Orange Samurai here. As you would have seen in the video, I attended the One Piece Card Game World Championship at the Bandai Card Games Fest in Tokyo, Japan. A lot of people ask me, hey Diego, so you went to the event. What was there to do? How do you get in? Is it worth it? Should I go? And there's a lot of questions for that, and I have a lot of answers for you, but the short answer is gonna be, it depends. And to give you the long answer, I have to ask you, are you a fan of One Piece? Are you a fan of Japanese culture? Do you plan on doing more than just going to Bandai Card Games Fest, or do you plan on also traveling further in Japan and exploring? All these questions are gonna determine on whether or not this trip is worth it for you. Now, I don't wanna sound like I'm trying to discourage you from going, but also at the same time, I don't wanna make it so that you go and you have a terrible time, you don't enjoy your time in Japan, you wasted a lot of money, because to be honest, going to Japan is not cheap. The actual fact of flying and staying, it is so very expensive. Once you get in the country, spending inside of it, it's not that bad. You know, the currency conversion rate, it's whatever. But the flights are very expensive, and I don't want you to waste your money, have a miserable time, don't know what you're doing, be completely lost, and then come back to the States or Europe or wherever you're from and say, yeah, man, I went here and it was awful. I'm never coming back. And that is not what I want to happen. So I'm gonna give you some information to help you make a more educated decision. Most importantly, the biggest question is, what is Bandai Card Games Fest? And Bandai Card Games Fest is going to be a convention, a celebration where they have all the Bandai card games all in one roof, and they have product exhibits, they have playing areas, they have a stage. It's basically a whole thing for all the Bandai fans to go and play cards, test out the new games, experience, the Bandai experience per se, right? Namely, in North America, we had a few of those in LA, in Dallas, and Orlando. And these have been a big deal because they have been the house for our Nats, the finals, right? So all of the North American finals have been held in the Bandai Card Games Fest. And also, not just One Piece, but Digimon, and most recently, Union Arena, where the winner of the Saturday and Sunday event played off for a chance to go to Worlds, which is going to be in Tokyo, Japan, where we're talking about. And yeah, it's a really cool event to go to. It is going to have all the Bandai games, so whether you're a fan of One Piece, Digimon, Battle Spirit Saga, Gundam, and so on, you get to do all these neat things, and it's super fun. But the last stop of the Bandai Card Games Fest is going to be in Tokyo, Japan, meaning the whole event is in Japanese. What do I mean by that? Basically what it means is that the whole event is in Japanese, all the signage is in Japanese, all the stuff that they give you is in Japanese, all the stuff that they sell is in Japanese, and also all the gameplay is going to be in Japanese. Meaning, if you don't have Japanese cards, you're not able to partake in these tournaments. Now mind you, there's ways to get around that. Japan has a lot of card shops, and they do sell pre-constructed decks, or you can buy singles. And also, at the stores, they not only have booster packs and boxes and other like the premium Bandai folders, but they also sell sleeves and playmats. They're universal, That means that whatever you bring back from Bandai Card Games Fest, it's not gonna be for you to play back home, unfortunately. So unless you're like a really big competitor that wants to play it no matter what, or someone that likes collecting and loves the game no matter what, you're not really gonna be able to enjoy the event as much, because you're gonna play in a card game that you don't understand. You're gonna play for cards that you don't understand or cannot use back home. So there's not much to get back from that unless you're a really big One Piece fan, a really big fan of Japanese culture. If you don't appreciate it to begin with, it's gonna be really difficult for you to enjoy it. And that's what I wanna forewarn. So with that, let me run you through my experience that I had at Bandai Card Games Fest in Tokyo last year. We arrived from Ryogoku into Chiba via tram at around 7:30. We waited in line out in the cold. It was about like 30 or so degrees Fahrenheit. It was about like a 2 or so hour wait. And well, it was super cold. We were waiting. We had nothing else to do. We were freezing. But thankfully, I like the cold, so they didn't mind as much. And after we got through the line, you had to go check in and get your TCG Plus app scanned. And for that, what you have to do is you're gonna go on your app and you're gonna change your region to Japan, and you put on whichever prefecture, it don't really matter, and they're gonna hand you your goodie bag. The goodie bag is gonna be like this, the plastic bag with the Cardfest logo, and then yeah, it's gonna come with some, some papers, some brochures showing about the games. But it's gonna come with some promos here and there. It's gonna have probably sleeves, an action point card, a One Piece card. Us, we had the Egghead Luffy promo. We had a One Punch Man action point and a Digimon card, I believe. It changes from event to event. You know, for that, please do check out the CardFest website. And within the bag, they had a little sheet and a pencil for you to write your order, kind of like this one. This one's from Dallas, I believe. So you could choose, oh, I want to get these pack of sleeves. I want to get this booster box. I want to get this premium Bandai bundle and such. So that's actually where I got my Union Arena bundles, like the Kogias, Hunter x Hunter, and the Bleach one. So super cool if you want to buy accessories, really worth it. And then unfortunately, they only have Japanese products. So I did buy a box of OP07, and I did post a video on my channel. So once we entered the venue, we had to go around the building to get to the store. And it was, again, another, set of waiting. And I think we waited from 7:30 when we got in the line, the original line, into the actual store. We got to buy our product. We checked in what we wanted to get. I got a bunch of sleeves, a lot of the Union Arena bundles. I got some play mats like the Four Emperors one, which is really cool. So definitely worth it if you want to get these things at a little bit less than MSRP, because due to the conversion rate, it's cheaper for us Americans, right? Okay, so we're gonna find a seating area for Evan because his feet are tired. And I got this right here. Besides that, for things to do, you could do the matching battle where they scan your TCG Plus app and you get in the matching battle, which is like pickup games. And if you won the set of these tournaments and you put it in your badge, if you win 3 or 4 of those, I think it was, you get a special LOL winner promo. Besides that, they had also Union Arena, they had Digimon, they had a demo experience for the Dragon Ball Fusion World client too. So some little doodads here and there, some cool photo opportunities where like all of the set cards of set 1 through 6 or 7 at a time. They had the card frames where you could do pictures. So cool little things, but there's not much unless you're on the actual like bigger events like in the finals or also in the flagship battle or the 3-on-3, I would say. Now, day 2 got a little more exciting as an spectator because I was able to sit down at the very front and watch all of these finals.
And what a series, what a tournament that was.
I got to watch the entirety of Swiss for the One Piece card game. I saw, the matches of Jackson and Yona.
アメリカ決勝の再戦、クライド選手、杯がリベンジを果たす結果となりました。お見事でした。全く違う杯と
I saw the last round of Swiss, which was Jackson and Herboya, I believe, and then I see the finals. The finals were a little more hype because they had in McKenyu come in as a co-commentator, and it was Guanrong and Herboya in a super close Sakazuki mirror match. So definitely cool if you enjoy the game and you enjoy, seeing super high levels of competition. But for things to do, I personally don't think it's kind of worth it if you're there to actually play the game due to all the limitations that I mentioned. And that's why I don't entirely recommend that you just go see CardFest when there's more things to do around Japan, sightseeing, shopping, doing activities. Personally, I didn't do that many sightseeing activities. I didn't go to Mount Fuji or see many gardens, but I got to go to Tokyo Disney. It's a boat, it's a mountain, it's a building, it's a line of people. Universal Studios Japan. In the ride. And I went to the Pokemon Center. I shopped around, I go-karted around Tokyo Bay. We're go-karting in Japan! I got to see the giant Gundam, went to animal cafes. I don't know if we got tourist trap or not, but they took pictures of us. And hey, look, it's you. Yeah, it's you. So a lot of things to do, and it's in so little time per se, right? If you have enough time, I do recommend you put time aside to fly to Kumamoto. It's a very small town, but what you can do there is check out the Straw Hat statues. So if you're a fan of One Piece, it's definitely well worth it, because what happens is, many years ago, there was an earthquake, and Eiichiro Oda, the creator of the series, donated money to the city, and they raised these statues in his honor, and they're located in very thematic locations. Luffy's in downtown, Chopper's gonna be in a zoo, Robin's in the Earthquake Museum, we have Sora and Sanji in a park, we have Nami in Orange Grove, we had also Frankie in a train station, so very thematic. It's really cool. There are these gigantic statues for them. Mind you that all of them are quite close to each other, except for Jinbei, that's all the way on the other side of town by the beach. So to keep that in mind, the city does offer a tour, but I'm pretty sure it's in Japanese and it's worth a few $100. But you can also get away with just getting a taxi and going around, keep the meter running, and it's going to cost you about the same, really, especially if you're sharing it with somebody else. It makes it a lot cheaper. So if you want to experience some One Piece stuff, I definitely do recommend that. And they got imprint for Oda right here. Hey, send me imprint. As you're traveling to Japan, I do want to give you a few recommendations to make you a little bit more prepared. As you all know, Japan is very well known for its metro system, and they have these metro cards, and these metro cards can be used for buying stuff at the convenience store, for tapping in to get your fare for a bus or the metro. So I do recommend you try and get yours at the airport before you step out, or you get a digital one. I think it is iPhone only, but you can check that out, just look it up. And then additionally, if you're looking to get some data while you're there, a lot of providers do offer international data. Like example, I have AT&T, and they charge me $10 a month for, $10 a day for it, and I had zero issues. I had connection the entire of the time I was there, so that was worth it. I think T-Mobile does a similar deal too. Or you can buy a wireless hotspot at the airport, or rent one. You can buy a SIM card at the airport or any store. There's a lot of options you can do, but for me, I just rather use my own phone, not hold anything else, and that's why I did it that way. Then for money, what a lot of people like to do is they like to go to the bank and change their money in there so they can have it ready. But I mean, you could do that, but what I did, I just went straight up to 7-Eleven and I withdrew from the ATM, because it is an immediate form of exchange, and the fees were very low. It didn't really matter, and it's I barely got to use it, to be honest with you, because Japan, at least in the city, it is, people say it's like, oh, it's very cash based, you should have cash on you at all times. But I struggle to use cash in Japan. I only ever use it, I think, for paying my Metro card, or I don't even remember actually. Yeah, I use most of my cash just for that, really, because all of it, like a lot of restaurants, they had tap, they had chip, they had swipe, you know, the 7-Elevens, the Lawson's, the Family Marts, the malls, they all took card. So I didn't need to use cash. So yeah, definitely something to think about, but I definitely recommend you have some cash in hand for whatever reason, you never know. But do keep in mind that if you have a card, you're not gonna be out of luck if you go. Then one last recommendation I'm going to give you is that you can probably buy a couple of suitcases, you know, small to large, and put them all in one. And that way, when you fly in, you're going to have it all in one. And when you get back, you're going to fill them up and bring them back in. That way, you don't spend money buying it in Japan itself, because it might cost too much and the selection might not be what you're looking for. So I definitely do recommend that you shop around domestically and see what they have. And, you know, personally, I have a Samsonite set with a carry-on, medium, and large check bag, and it fits me just fine. I put it all in one stack, and then when I flew back home, I separated it all and filled them up with stuff, and it was pretty easy to carry around town. But yeah, there you have it, guys. I wanted to talk about all the things that I did while I was in Japan, while I went to Bandai Card Games Fest in Tokyo, so you're a little more informed and you know more about the possible trip you're about to take. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to answer it, or you can always, you know, DM me on all my socials. I'm always available. So I'll see you guys in Japan.